Do you have any insight into, so you mentioned you worked on startup accounts. Do you have any kind of like foundational best practices that people should be thinking about with their social media?
Yep, 100%. I think for startups, it's so easy to want to be in the fast lane and have, a bit of an overnight success or
Go
success
viral?
after months. Yeah, which can happen,
Mm-hmm.
but let's prepare for, the most common scenario, which is it is a bit of a long burn. And social media really rewards people who show up consistently and who find a niche with their content. Also, who align with influencers or other content creators who speak with their audience. Just
Mm.
going for the Kylie Jenners of the world and the massive influencers that might really not align with your brand. So I guess just, yeah, showing up consistently, being true to your company and your content, and working and aligning with other ambassadors and influencers in the industry who are on
Mm.
your level.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. I think sometimes people do get that shiny object syndrome. They're like, yeah, it has to be a Kardashian or it has to be this person with 1 million followers. But that can be a huge gamble for people. They can spend like thousands and thousands of dollars and it actually not work. Do you have much experience in the influencer space at all?
Yeah, so we run influencer and content creator campaigns for a lot of brands that we work with. We had a very notable one last year with a brand that's stocked in Woolworths and Coles. You might have seen it. It's called Eye Care Paper. It's recycled toilet
Oh,
paper
yep.
and paper towels.
Yep.
They didn't really have any social media presence at all. Of course, in the shops, they've got a massive presence. A lot of people recognize them, but on socials, it really kind of fell flat. So we did an influencer campaign for them, which was very, very successful. It's probably one of our most successful case studies that we used. But yeah, I feel like with that scenario, it was really getting micros and macro influencers and to
Mm.
develop that strategy.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like the idea of using both rather than kind of just sort of putting all of your eggs in one basket. Did you have, so when you think about that campaign, let's kind of use that one as the case study. What was your approach to finding the right influencers?
Yeah. So I guess understanding the target audience of the brand is hugely important.
Mm.
And then understanding the influencers audience. So you could have a, let's say your audience is female, like, young females, 18 to 25, and you find an influencer and she's 19 years old and she's got all of the right content. Her audience might all be males that are based in the US,
Oh my God,
because
yes.
that's her.
I wonder why they're following her.
So that might not even be speaking to your target audience. So it's really looking into their analytics, understanding who their audience is, the type of content they're creating. So it seems like an organic partnership.
Mm.
People are very savvy to advertising and to influencer partnerships these days. So you've got to really make sure that it seems organic and it fits in line with that influencer too.
Yeah, I love that you said that because I feel like the idea of kind of organic, authentic content and stories is kind of what's resonating a lot more now. Would you sort of think the same rather than kind of the polished, shiny posts?
Yeah, 100%. There's so many businesses out there that, when they think of socials, they're like, oh, let's just promote our services. But it's
Mm.
often the behind the scenes or the insider knowledge that they can give, the less polished type of content that works the best. We work with a cosmetic surgeon, and the best content that she gets isn't promoting her procedures or promoting her years of, experience or before and afters. It's actually when she does the Q&As on the stories and she rocks up after work in her surgeon's outfit and she answers people's questions and talks about the realities of some of these procedures. So I feel like, yeah, less polished content definitely works on socials these days.
And I wonder if it's like the TikTok thing. So it's so funny. I was just having a conversation with someone about TikTok and they're like, you kind of spend so much time designing your content strategy, but when it comes to TikTok, it's like dial it back half, like don't think about it. The most successful posts are the ones you just kind of throw up there and have no idea if they'll work.
Yep, 100%. I feel that with TikTok, like people try and, say, well, we often get brands say, oh, we'll bring in a videographer.
Mm.
No, just on your iPhone is the best way
Mm.
to capture that content. There's obviously tricks and transitions that we can do that make it look more polished,
Yep.
but professional videography or the video you created for YouTube 10 years ago, it's just not going to work on TikTok.
Yeah,
or
which is
get
kind of
that.
cool though, right? Like it's so, and I think this is very a post-COVID thing, right? Like everyone is, we're all sitting at home in our tracksuit and we're kind of going, oh my God, I don't want to see like the polished content that's out there at the moment. But I think it's hard for brands because for so long we've been like, what's our brand strategy? What's our values? What do we want to appear and look like? So for them to kind of go raw and real and organic kind of feels like a little bit of a divide.
Yeah. I kind of love it though. I think
Mm.
there's so much pressure put on, used to be put on for people to show up and be this amazing, perfect human on socials, but it's often, yeah, the unedited stuff that is the most watched and appreciated. I think put that strategy that you put into before the filming and the, hair and makeup and the lighting and everything like that, put that into defining what your niche is going to be. That's where the strategy comes in, I think, the most. Have a purpose. This is what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to be the expert on XYZ.
Yeah.
Even with small businesses on TikTok, I've noticed that too. They might not be speaking about, oh, these are our products. They might be speaking about their small business journey to where they are today. And that's very
Yeah.
successful.
Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. It's kind of like, yes, it can be raw and organic and real, but there does still have to be a purpose underlying. I think I actually watched this other great post today where someone was like, if you're super professional, maybe TikTok's not even the place for you. Like, don't feel like you have to kind of do the dancing, still kind of come back to what your values are. So if you're going to be the raw and the real, cool, but make sure it's still aligning to your values.